Hey guys, so I went to an event this past weekend. I went to my very first Hal-Con. Now, I didn't know what to expect when I went there, but I can honestly say that I absolutely loved it. There were so many cool costumes that people made, and so many awesome panels, and really intriguing guests that they had. Now, one of the biggest reasons I went to Hal-Con this year was to see an omnipotent being known as Q. Yes, I met John Lancie, and it wasn't for like 2 seconds while we took a picture together. It was like a full-on conversation. He asked me about my filmmaking and where I was from. I ended up asking him if he did indie films because I would love to have John Lancie in one of my films someday. He knows what to bring to a character to make it special, and I would love for him to make one of my characters come to life. I'm a Star Trek fan, so meeting Q was incredible. John Lancie is such a sweet person. He's so nice. He just takes the time to listen to your questions and then asks you questions back. Listening to him speak at his panel and talking to him in person has definitely inspired me to create more art. I've been writing a new script and composing more music, and I've just been more creative these past few days. Like, it's been 5 days since meeting him and I'm still on cloud 9. But anyway, I recorded a little bit of footage at Hal-Con. Unfortunately, I didn't get as much as I would have wanted to, but here it is.
But the strangest things that we got to do was all the talking to the horses. Because like Jacob rides horses all around it. So they'd have lines like, "Who's a good horse?" "You are." Just like ridiculous lines to horses all day long.
The first time I heard that, I literally paused because I was laughing.
Oh,
so
you heard that line? What? I know. Loads of people have written about that one online, but it's quite a funny line, but there's some other funny ones when you get deep into the game.
John Lancie has done it all. He's a writer, actor, producer, director, comedian, voice artist. You may know him as Discord in My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, or Frank Simmons in Stargate SG-1, and of course, Donald Margolis in Breaking Bad. Oh yeah, and as Q. Please welcome John Lancie. Wonderful to have you here, John.
Thank you. Nice to be here. You know, I was just hired to do that pilot episode. When I finished the show, or actually 2 or 3 days into the show, Roddenberry came up to me and he said, "We're going to be seeing more of you." I didn't really, I had heard those. I had been in other shows and heard that before. How many of you can see, by the way? Is this better?
He's being persistently tall.
Yes. But let me ask you this. How about if we open this up to their questions?
That'd be fantastic.
So we have, instead of general questions, we have very specific questions. Who would like to start, sing out, okay? And while you're thinking about it, I'll just finish this answer. And that is that at the, I ended up coming back on the show. Roddenberry had said, "We're going to see you a lot," and then he decided that wouldn't work, and it made sense, as from writers' point of view. You can't have a character that's sort of like a Mercutio, always coming back into a play that's called Romeo, right? So that was the thing. So are there questions? So that. No, it wasn't difficult to convince him. Actually, I had nothing to do with that. My agent called up, actually, my wife and said they are looking for somebody to play John's son. Do you think that Keegan would be interested? So Marnie talked to Keegan. Keegan said yes. He went in and auditioned 2 or 3 times. I had nothing to do with that. I can tell you this, though, is that you know, everybody thinks, oh, that's really great, it must have been wonderful, and all that type of stuff. It was wonderful to see him enjoy his time. I mean, those first couple of days are nerve-wracking if you haven't done something like that, and then for all of us, and then you know, he really began to fill out and do a really good job. For me, as an actor, your job is to play with other people, but you keep things pretty close to the vest, so as to be able to, frankly, be in a kind of, you know, an acting version of a tennis match. But in my case, for this one and only time I've ever had this experience, all of my empathy, all of my concern was really towards this other person. In this case, my son, who's going, oh, are you okay? Is everything going well with you? And stuff like that, which is not very good for playing the role of Q.
Yeah, especially since he's like vanishing him. And
That's right. Now, what do you mean? Can you be a little more specific?
Sorry?
What do you mean? What are my thoughts on?
Like, what were your thoughts in seducing Kate Mulgrew?
What was your motivation,
Kate and I had worked before and knew each other before, and we're friends and still are friends, which probably precludes having tried to seduce Kate Mulgrew because we would not probably have remained friends. So it was just fun. I mean, my mind goes back to slopping around in that bathtub, the bubble bathtub, late on a shooting night, where you have to slip into this water, and there are cameras all around. What can I tell you? It's not, it wasn't like any of the porno films I've
So I just got out of Hal-Con. Oh my god, I met John Delancey.